Let's talk about a movie that does exist.
Well, that's what I was...
Well, I still have some time here at your home.
This Jaws movie I'm pitching comes straight out. The only other person, maybe he lets JJ do it.
He might.
And why wouldn't you let JJ do anything in this world, including your wife, right in front of you after you watch that fucking trailer for Star Wars, The Last Skywalker?
No, The Rise of Skywalker.
My bad. Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker.
I think the colon threw you.
It did.
The Rise of Skywalker. Now, let's start with the title.
Yeah.
Does that bother you at all?
No.
It does me.
Come on, bro.
It bothers me.
Star Wars will
it
ever
bothers
bother
me. It sounds like a fan film or a video game. It doesn't sound... You know how all the titles have sort of been sweeping and general and sort of encapsulate a whole world?
Yes.
It seems so ultra specific.
May I
to
propose,
that clan, to the Skywalker clan.
May I propose,
and I know they're the center of the story, but...
Yes. May I propose what?
Please propose.
I have no knowledge whatsoever. To be fair, or full disclosure, I did visit the Star Wars set, but this is not information that I gleaned at all.
Right.
I had no idea what the title was until they fucking dropped the trailer.
No one did.
But looking at that title, these are the things that went swirling around my head. The obvious thing is the obvious thing is marketing wise, it's fucking brilliant. Because the last movie, the big complaint is like, but Luke Skywalker, what? So put it right in the title. Hey kids, Skywalker. Like,
you're getting one of them.
This is on a marketing level. That absolutely makes sense. Story level. Now I'm going, okay, it could be after unfairly killing him off in the last one, he's coming back. And it's a literal title and it's about the rise of Skywalker. Or could be that after all this time, we find out Rey is a Skywalker.
Right.
Or it could be that fucking Kylo is, because isn't he a Skywalker or was he a Solo? He's
half and half. I mean, his mom was a Skywalker.
It does. The title does for me what fucking, without knowing anything, excites the shit out of me because I'm like, the endless possibilities. But here's one that it could be. And this is, again, shot in the dark. What if, last movie was The Last Jedi?
Right.
What if they are telling us the fucking title? Come on, all the titles and blah, blah, blah. What if that is like a title? What if the way that Jedi has been used historically in these movies, and including in the last movie, the Last Jedi, the Jedis must end and all that shit.
Right.
What if that's it for the Jedis?
Oh.
And perhaps the new religion
are the Skywalkers.
Didn't that just give you fucking chills? Did your nipples pop?
That got me a little stiff, a little turgid.
What if
movement?
What if it's that? And I swear, again, fucking, I don't want anybody going I know nothing.
This is all speculation.
This is just, when I read that title, because I too was, when it dropped, I was like, they put the name right there. And these are all the thoughts that went through my head. I see what
you're saying.
And in that exact
maybe
order,
Skywalker supplants the order that existed beforehand.
Wouldn't that be fucking dope?
Wow,
he was
what
so
an honor.
Fucking important. I'm going to cry to the universe that from then on, they named the order after. They're all Skywalkers.
Well, you think if the Christians adopted a guy's name to call their religion.
We got 6 months minimum, maybe 8 before we get to see this picture.
Yeah.
It's going to be such a fun fucking 6 or 8 months doing speculation.
Yeah.
But my God, it made me so happy. See that opening shot here in Luke's
let's talk
voice.
about the actual trailer itself. Then that opening shot is breathtaking.
Yes.
It's like David Lean. Anybody who knows Lawrence of Arabia or any of the David Lean films, Bridge over the River Kwai. I mean, the scope of that and then how it builds and builds and builds was really sort of breathtaking.
He is a masterful filmmaker. I don't, anybody that tries to take it away from him, they're idiots at this point. That boy is born to make movies.
Yeah.
It's in his fucking blood. You know what I'm saying? I'm a carpetbagger. I came into it because I'm like, I love movies. JJ born to make movies.
Yeah.
And that trailer just puts it on full fucking display. Let's watch it.
Okay.
We can comment through it and stuff.
All right.
Because good Lord, number one, I should have known because Celebration was happening that we'd get it.
Yeah, it didn't dawn on me either.
Even before JC.
And we're close enough. You think it would happen. It should have been a no-brainer, but I was surprised.
JC runs Scum and Villainy, and he was going out
to Chicago?
and
For the celebration.
And we talked about, I was like, do you think they show a teaser? He's like, I don't know. It's like 8 months away. He's going, it would make sense, but like, there's no guarantee, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then they fucking drop this, man. This. That beautiful Lucasfilm logo.
A lot of breathing.
That's the fanboys.
She's breathing.
There she is. There's our girl.
Look at the scope and the vista behind that shot. It's just gorgeous.
That's a filmmaker right there, son. There's a guy that's just like,
knows how to use the frame.
And right away, there's a great marketer who's like, there's Luke's voice, showed a lightsaber. Ooh, that sound.
He sounds like he's doing Alec Guinness almost. You know what I mean? He's taking on that gravitas.
And we're on a desert planet.
Yeah.
Could it be Tatooine or is this Jakku?
Look at that scope. It just looks like an epic.
And then we find Rey. Like, see how we get quiet? Because it's just like you're watching.
Yeah, it's just visually stunning.
Bang! Fucking Kylo Ren ship. This is, I can't believe they're showing us this sequence, but what a great way to
That reminded me of Darth Vader in his fighter with those gloves on the controls. And here it comes.
Flip! Boom! Kill his fucking ass, Rey.
This Christmas.
I've seen that.
There are
spaceships. I saw that winter. I saw that Sky City. Bam! Kylo Ren. Look at this shit. I love that mask shot. It's like,
welding it back together after he broke it.
Yes.
Lando Calrissian.
You truly belong here with us among the clouds. That looks like fucking Return of the Jedi right there. 3PO. And come on, bro.
Oh.
They gave us Carrie back.
That's
JJ
amazing.
gave you fucking Carrie back. And look!
The remnants of the Death Star. And then the Joker shows up at the end. Why is Hamill laughing? Why is Luke laughing at the end of that? Because he's so happy, or does something go south?
He's like, my name's in the title. That, of course, December can't come soon enough.
It's a little sinister.
Now I got to
laugh
for that.
Did that bother you at all?
Love it. That is the Emperor. That's Ian McDermott is back.
Oh, that's who the laugh is.
That ain't him. That's the Emperor. And they brought him out on stage to be like, look who's back,
They brought
bitches.
Ian McDermott on stage?
At Celebration.
Oh, that's where the laugh. Oh, that's perfect.
So he's the guy. They show you a piece of the fucking Death Star, which could only be the Death Star from Return of the Jedi.
Right.
And then you hear his laugh. Has he been fucking living in the wreckage of the fucking Death Star on some planet? Maybe it's Endor. Maybe it's not.
Wow.
Come on, bro. Like, I don't care. I know a lot of people get cynical. Like, this is just fucking fan service.
Yes. Ewoks.
Yes.
He's like roasting Ewoks, eating them inside the wreckage.
You made me really excited for an idea that probably isn't in that movie. Let's be honest. JJ's not that cynical a
Just
man.
see corpses of
But
Ewoks
that's
everywhere.
brilliant. Oh
He's been
my
feeding off of them.
God. Why didn't you say that before? I could have mentioned it to him or something.
Just porgs and Ewoks just scarfing them down.
Totally. He's like, well, nom. The fans like, do it.
Eating the hearts out
Eat
of them.
more. Fucking yeah. It is. Yes, it is fan service.
It is. At this point, it's just giving the people what they want.
Isn't that what we're fucking here for? Once you get into a sequel, you're into the fan service business.
Absolutely.
You tell your original story.
You can only be so original after you've told the first story, right?
I say that.
Everything has to be based on that.
Probably looking, for a little leeway as the guy that just made Jane Silent Bob reboot. But yeah, it's like you're in the fan service business. The only reason they're coming back for more is because they're like, oh, I was a fan of the first one.
Right.
I liked it. Or even if they're just mildly, like some people would take objection, like, man, fuck you. But it's like, even if you know it and just mildly like it, that's what the sequel business is.
Yes.
And this is not only a sequel, but it closes up the entire fucking saga.
Right.
This is where George Lucas was heading, more or less, when he started way back when they were shooting in 1976, when we started seeing these movies in 1977.
And in fairness to the franchise, it's always been the plan that it was going to be sort of cyclical and fold back in on itself. You know what I mean? It's been built that way. The family story between all of them and the reuse of the Death Star as the weapon. I mean, even in the first 3 films that Lucas made, it sort of referenced itself
it's
and
gotta
lived
be
inside
referential,
of it.
self-referential. I mean, you expand the world and stuff, but like at the end of the day, it's like, show them the familiar. So in this trailer, we get to see the familiar. They show us fucking Lando. And we're like, holy shit, I had no idea how much I missed him. I know we could have had him in the last movie, it sounded like, but great that they pull him out. But come on. like through the magic of cinema and through the magic of, boy, we have too much movie. Let's leave this stuff on the cutting room floor from The Force Awakens.
Carrie lives.
Carrie fucking lives.
That's
Princess
awesome.
Leia lives in the movie. Like, come on, not a dry eye in the house.
Yeah.
Like, and they lived up to their promise. Remember, they're like, we're not going to do digital Carrie.
Yeah.
And
We got something in the bag.
so I like, Luke's in it.
Right.
We're hearing his voice. I don't think those are lines from the last movie, are they?
Not that I recall.
It's my only thing. I was like, is that Luke from the previous movie? That way they're leaving it a question mark. But if you put Skywalker in the title, guess who's going to be in that movie?
Yeah.
Luke fucking Skywalker himself. So we know we got Luke back. We know we get Carrie back.
Mm-hmm. You get Lando.
You get Lando.
You don't get Grumpy Pants, though.
Do you?
You
though?
don't get Grumpy Pants. I guarantee you. Goddamn Han Solo.
I don't know.
I know. I'm not gonna Ben.
What if they're
Ben.
like, what if they can,
Ben.
what if it's just, here's, and this is again, my fucking, this is all speculation and theory. Like fucking JJ smart enough to never share anything
Right.
with me. So this is just me talking as a fan. Big complaints about these movies so far have been like, man, I'm not going to get to see Han, Luke, and Leia
Right.
in the same movie ever again together.
Missed opportunity. Should have had him hug.
Now, this is a movie series known for the use of Force ghosts.
They do have some ghosts popping in from time to time.
So
with some very agreeable nodding going on.
everybody, Ghost is always
Very
affirmative
happy.
in their world.
They return and say, "Hey, attaboy, good job."
They really ought to cut to one of them being like, no, just shaking his head.
Why don't the ghosts show up when they're like in the shit and they really need some help? How come when the mission's all over, like, "Hey, thumbs up, buddy, wink, wink." Yeah, where were you when I needed you?
As
Have a little
Luke's
heads up.
landing on Cloud City, where's fucking Anakin Skywalker
Right.
waving him off, going,
Don't have lunch.
turn around.
Don't have lunch. Don't go into the lunchroom.
They're very convenient, these Force ghosts, but that is a way, to do it.
But has he earned the Force Ghost?
I mean,
Because
but these-
all the Force Ghosts up till now have been Jedi.
yeah, these rules are.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying he was never ordained.
You got to say though, at one point, this was a movie series where they're like, you know how you get the Force? Blood disease. You're like, what?
That's true.
Like, yeah, it's passed down in your genes.
It's like lead poisoning.
So I think at this point we could take liberties if we wanted to. Point is,
Maybe
nobody
he caught it from Leah.
Oh, could you imagine? Point is, nobody knows what this fucking movie is other than JJ.
Right.
I saw a little bit when I was there, but I didn't see the only thing the only thing like that was near what I saw was at one point you see the ship going into like this mountain top, like
City
shot,
built into
like
the
just
mountains?
after it says fucking, this December or whatever the fuck. There's a shot of the ship coming into like a city in the mountains. I saw that.
That's cool.
And it was huge. It was such a big set. Biggest set I ever seen.
I love the fact that he still uses practicals.
I love him. He's such a great fucking filmmaker.
Yeah, I'm telling you, there's some imperceptible part of your brain that can tell the difference, no matter how good CGI is, between something that's existing versus something that doesn't. And it just adds something for me.
I watched him compose a shot with a crane, gigantic fucking crane. Gorgeous. Took him like an hour, like to sit there and be like, all right, we're doing this. And the whole time, me, a director, I'm sitting there going like, whew, we would have been done a long time ago. Fuck this crane. I would have done a close up, another close up.
Just get coverage. Just
Fucking
cut.
Oh, moving into it. But then when we shot it, it's breathtaking. And you're like, that's why he's a great fucking filmmaker. Like,
Yes.
you can't fucking take it away from him. That dude is the Spielberg of our generation.
Right.
Like, such a
And there's a reason why they went back to him to sort of rein this whole thing in and get this enterprise back on track, because they know he will fucking do that.
He brings magic and wonder to it. Not that Ryan didn't, and I enjoy The Last Jedi. I like it. That's a movie that I really enjoy.
I liked a lot of
I
it.
thought he did a really great job, but there's and I understood exactly what he was going for, right? Like, it's the idea of like, if we want this saga to keep going, can't just be like, Luke,
Han,
Han, and Leia. It's like, you got to break it to fix it and stuff, but we're just not ready to let go of Luke, Han, Leia. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like it's
still their story in a lot of our minds.
And it feels like this one will tie it up where you're like, okay, man, okay.
Now what's next?
Yeah. Like and if, again, all fucking speculation, but if Rise of Skywalker meant that they were the next order of Jedi were called the Skywalkers, how beautiful that saga is about a little boy that they find in the desert
who becomes the savior,
whose name becomes like, and that name, I'm going to cry just thinking about it. If you call them Skywalkers, and again, this is just speculation.
It's all just a stoner talking about movies.
But if you do, not only is it an honor for Luke, and it says that he truly is the master. And this is a guy who trained with Ben Kenobi and Yoda himself.
Right.
Like they don't call them the Yodas. They'd be calling them the Skywalkers if this is the case.
Their softball team, I believe, is called the Yodas.
The traveling team, not the home team. Home team's Qui-Gons. So, but not only does it do that, and it's an honor for Luke, it redeems the name of his father.
Right.
Anakin Skywalker, the little boy who fell to the dark side. And this, I think, will be about balance, right? They're like, this is what we were getting in the last movie. They're like, it's not so much about good guys and bad guys and lights up. There's balance. They need each other.
Right.
You know, they're always trying to excuse the fact that Anakin Skywalker went crazy, killed everybody, turned into Darth Vader. They got to redeem him at the end. So it just excites me in a way that like, and this takes nothing away from The Last Jedi, but like, this got my fucking imagination going.
Yeah.
In a way where I'm like, ooh, and that's what movies should do. Yes, movies should ultimately entertain. Maybe I should rephrase it. That's what a trailer should do.
Right.
Set your imagination on fucking fire.
Yes.
The movie, they'll tell you the story. And then whether you agree with that later on, you know, it's fucking depends on.
Here's my fear, though. With this particular
there are no fears.
There's a fear.
Fear leads to the dark side, Ralph.
Fear not.
Fear or fear not. There is no try. Keep paraphrase. Go ahead.
My fear is with this fan base is that speculation leads to disappointment because the dreams.
Speculation leads to disappointment. Disappointment leads to no toys being sold. No toys being sold leads to a break on the franchise.
Jar Jar Binks you are. They come up with all these fantastical emotions and things they want to see, and then if the movie doesn't deliver on that promise that they've created in their own heads, there's anger at the other end of that, and then trolling.
What do you think?
I think it's great to speculate, and I hope people do, and I hope they get excited about it, but also I hope they accept the film on its own merits when it gets delivered and just appreciate it and enjoy it.
What do you think creates that?
I have no idea, but I'm really unhappy with it.
Why did we go from just like, yeah, man, I love that movie to like, you know how it'd be better?
Well, I don't know how excitement waiting for something to happen then becomes rage if it doesn't go by your rules that you've created in your head for what it should be. And the ownership of it is odd to me, and I find ultimately disappointing.
I'm a fan of things. I like things.
I do too.
Well, we established, like Melissa Villaseñor, she's yet to disappoint me.
Right.
This is not a slam by any stretch of the imagination, but I loved Twin Peaks when it first aired on ABC back in the day.
Yes.
It was fucking groundbreaking. It's a big part of my mythology. It's in my DNA. It winds up in everything I fucking do. That's how important that series was to me.
But I mean, isn't it?
I can draw you a line from that to Tusk. You don't get to Tusk unless you go through fucking Twin Peaks. Like David Lynch in my DNA.
Gotcha.
Big fan. Mulholland Drive, fucking Blue Velvet, like Wild at Heart. These were the movies that made me the person and the filmmaker that I would become. That all being said, they made another Twin Peaks recently.
Yes.
And like, I applauded his ability to be able to pull together big budget, pull together the cast, make the exact thing that he wanted to make.
Right.
It didn't feel like the Twin Peaks I was familiar with.
It was very loosely connected to the original Twin Peaks. Yes.
It felt
very
more
loosely.
like Inland Empire with a Susan of Twin Peaks on the top.
Right. It was almost unrecognizable as Twin Peaks. It was a completely different
with
thing.
the exception of the fact that I'm like, well, they were in Twin Peaks.
Yeah, right.
That being said, I was never unhappy. Did you ever hear me say anything about this publicly?
You didn't write a strongly worded letter?
Was I on Twitter going like, you fucker? How dare you?
Hope you rot in hell.
If anything, I was like, all right, well, maybe I'm getting old. And I applaud and he's older than me.
Yes.
So he made me feel old where I'm like, well, that dude's still on the fucking edge, right where he fucking belongs. And my tastes have obviously fucking changed. And yeah, you know, you can make the argument that like, Kev, that wasn't really Twin Peaks, but that's not the point. The point is he said something really smart, I think, where my friend Vincent Pereira told me this. He was like, you know, there's a scene in the Twin Peaks reboot where they talk about like coffee, where he came in for coffee and then he's got to drink this green tea and stuff. And he's like, yeah, but why don't you just try it? Like you might actually like the green tea. He's go, but I came in here for coffee. And he's like, that pretty much sums up the Twin Peaks reboot, which is like,
right,
you came in for coffee, but we gave you something that's not coffee, but it's pretty fucking tasty. And, you know, if you're in the mood for coffee, and it seems like this generation's in the mood for exactly what they want, you know, maybe because I'm older, maybe because I'm like, look, I'm just happy people can still impress me with this bullshit.
Yeah.
I'm happy that I can still like be like, wow, what a great magic trick. You don't have to make the Twin Peaks I want to see. I'm glad he's making Twin Peaks. I hope he makes 9 more. Maybe one of them is closer to the one that I fucking recall and shit. But like, I applaud his ability to like expand his world and tell a different fucking story altogether. But I'm never like gonna fucking get out there and campaign and be like, this is horseshit. What he's done to us is wrong. Like, be a fan. Don't be a fanatic.
Yeah.
And I know one word derives from the other, but like, I don't know. Maybe that's what separates us from the next generation.
Well, thank you for that, Kevin. I'm glad you allowed me to make the thing I wanted to make.
You're welcome, Mr. Lynch. He lives up there.
Yeah, he's right there.
He's right up there.
He's listening through the window. And I know people will hear this and say, well, Ralph's the guy who always shat all over Batman versus Superman and Man of Steel and everything. And it's like, yes, but you know, that's also kind of what I do
professionally.
Professionally. My job is to have a take and to maybe blow that take a little bit out of proportion and try to make it as entertaining as possible by raging against something. But you don't see me out in the real world doing it, you know?
I've never once been with Ralph and had him be like, you know what I really feel about this college scandal? He's got no skin in the game, but it's like professionally, I got to use the material that's handed to me, you know? Someone gives me a bolt of cloth, I got to make some clothing. That's his only skin in the fucking
it
game.
Really is.
It is, yeah, man. They're going to make all the money with this movie.
I'm excited.
All the fucking money.
Yes, and rightly so.